Hey now! Hi everybody, Gribben here. So July 17th marks the 35th anniversary of one of my favorite movies of all time, Robocop. With the release of the new game coming out, hopefully still in 2023, I thought it would be fun to revisit a lot of the old games I used to play as a kid that I never actually got to beat, see if I can get through them. I don't have them all, but I do own a decent amount. So without delay, let's just jump right into this. So if you don't know what Robocop is, I'm going to go in extremely painful detail about the first movie. Police officer Alex Murphy dies. Evil corporation OCP, who runs the police force, wants to line the streets with law enforcement robots. Ed 209 project, pure robot, failure. Robocop, fit a suit of armor against a dead cop, good. And there you go, dead cop, project, Robocop. When he's not fighting crime, he's resting in his hover-round. His internal organs are still functioning inside the suit and requires this paste that looks like diarrhea to sustain his innards. He cleans up the streets by clotheslining bad guys into convenience store refrigerators and shooting people in the cock bag. The movie spawned 2 mainline sequels. Robocop 2 was decent. 3 had a good story, but it was ultimately dog shit. A TV series from the 90s that only lasted about 20 or so episodes. A mini-series with 4 episodes that are each 90 minutes, so for the sake of argument, 4 spin-off movies that were actually pretty terrible. A reboot that was also terrible. A 90s cartoon that lasted 12 episodes. Comic books. He was once on WCW. Toys, of course. I still have my giant Robo action figure. You could take off his hands and put on his machine gun arm, although I can't seem to find it. But his leg opens up, he still has the pistol in there. Let's throw some batteries in, Robo. Do you still work?
Your move, creep. Drugs are trouble. Hands up.
Fuck yeah, you do. This is your boy as Robocop for Halloween, and last but not least, the video games. There was an arcade cabinet of Robocop 1 and 2 that I'd love to play sometime because the gameplay looks absolutely epic, but of course the real meat and potatoes were the ones for the home consoles. So let's start off with Robocop for the NES. Robocop 1 is probably the best Robocop game on the NES, and you'll see why later, but first, let's just take a look at how this game looks visually. I have to say, it looks pretty damn detailed. Robo easily stands out from the background, and he looks great for the 8-bit era. The blacks on the silver look great, and they didn't give him a purple look instead of black like most game companies did back in the day to differentiate the character from the background. Maybe this is because he's not a solid color, but I digress. Plus he has a strut like he's walking around about to steal your bitch. Next we have the HUD display. Bottom left-hand corner you see the T and P indicators. T indicates how much time you have left before Robocop just stops walking around. He needs his hover-round chair, goddammit, he's had a long day. P indicates how much damage you can take before Robo just breaks down. You can pick up power-ups that increase both of these. P is increased with P bags, brown gives you a minuscule amount while silver gives you full health. Time can be picked up by picking what I can only imagine are 9-volt batteries. I don't know, I never had the manual for this game, so I don't know what they are. And he picks up both P bags and batteries by inserting them anally, but I'm not here to kink shame. Next we have the weapons, of course. He has his pistol with infinite ammo, however he pulls this out randomly during times of the level. I'm okay with this, because in the first movie, Robo didn't always have his gun out. When it's out, shoot till your heart's content, you can swap between other weapons you may have, like machine guns or the Cobra gun. He can shoot in all directions except straight down, which isn't game-breaking. 7 out of 8 directions? I'm cool with that. And when your gun is away, you clock baddies in the cocksucker with your Detroit Metro West Fist of the Law. Then we have the functions, which I'm going to be completely honest, 30 years later, I still don't have any idea what they mean. You have a pissed off looking Robo like you just took the last pizza without putting any money down on it to begin with, a fist, a steering wheel with a blue booger on it, and a muffler with an E on it. At random times, these functions will just beep and make a noise to remind you that they serve some kind of purpose, but again, I didn't have the manual. I have no idea what they mean. The levels are pretty honest to the movie material as much as they can be. Level 1, you're taught the basics of just taking down guys in a brown shirt, guys in a purple shirt, a medieval knight in a helicopter bobsled, dogs, and a boss that I interpreted to be Terminator as a kid. Shooting him does nothing, so just punch him until he's dead. The second level, you have to save the new mayor from the old mayor holding him hostage in City Hall, just like the movie. Watch out for a spiked coat rack on tank treads that tries to stab you while you punch the shit out of a wall, just like in the movie. One thing I will point out is how Robocop looks when he's walking through doors. Jesus, this looks awkward. Wait until the mayor ducks 3 times and then beat the shit out of the former mayor into submission to progress to the third level. Level 3 is the Narcotics Factory. So here's a side note. When I watched this movie as a kid, I asked my mother if they were making sugar. Of course she said yes, so every time we went to the store from that point forward, I was second guessing if the bag of sugar she bought for brownies later was originally purchased from an illegal sugar trade. But anyway, same enemies till you reach the end and then you get your first look at Clarence Boddicker, until he escapes, and then you have to fight these 3 army men that are smaller than everybody else in the game. If you don't have the machine gun for this part of the boss, you're gonna have a bad time. After that, Robocop yaps and tells you that you have to go arrest Dick Jones, which we know that you can't because of Directive 4, Robocop can't arrest senior officials at OCP. So as you go through OCP, you have to avoid ceiling guns, octopus spiders, and giant floor cannons that blast flames, I guess? Remember when I said this was honest to the movie material? Well, this just kind of throws that right out the window. Make it to the end and you fight an enormous Ed 209, but he actually looks surprisingly great for his 8-bit form too. I love it. Blast off his arm and make him retreat, and then it's off to the next level. This is a good time to mention that periodically you get a shooting range level where you can earn 1-ups if you shoot 30 targets, and you're gonna need it because the next level's a bitch. So this level in the movie is bittersweet. The Foundry is where Alex Murphy was killed by Clarence and co. Robocop leads them back here and they all get taken out one by one. Battle your way to the end to fight Clarence and avoid steel dropping down on you, which is movie accurate. However, this is a bitch because when the steel drops, when it hits the ground, it slightly bounces to the right. So you have to carefully trigger the steel dropping, all while avoiding Clarence's Cobra gun fire. Don't get hit by either because they both do massive damage. This is the part of the game where I died a lot as a kid. However, if you do it just right, then it's off to the final level, which is OCP again, only this time you start off on a giant conveyor belt that's walking you backwards with explosive barrels on them. Why? How do people get into work on time at this place? I never made it to the final boss, mainly because this round is an endurance match. There's no pee bags or anal batteries to be found, and everything that hits you fucking hurts. I usually ended up dying by the other Terminator right outside the final boss room, but lo and behold, I made it to the boss, and it's another Ed 209. Put an end to Ed 209, where I see the final cutscene where the old man fires Dick Jones, negating Directive 4, and Robo finally blasts the shit out of him, ending the game. And it's all worth it to see 2 quotes from Robocop, and that's it. I loved this game as a kid, still do as an adult. I'm finally happy to say that I beat it. It's a solid release for the NES. How does Robocop 2 for the NES hold up? In the movie, he has to rid Detroit of a new drug called Nuke. The cap twists off, similar to those Kool-Aid burst drinks from the 90s, and you shoot this shit directly into your neck. I never owned Robocop 2 for the NES as a kid, and there's a good reason for that. I didn't like the way it looked or the gameplay, and it only gets worse from here. The main aspect of the game is you have to destroy Nuke in a level and arrest people. He has a gun out at all times in this game, however you can no longer shoot diagonally or up, which is just dumb. Remember how I said Robocop 1 looks pretty detailed? Well, they really dropped the ball on this one. The first level is a mixture of grays, blues, and cat vomit orange. Robo doesn't look aesthetically appealing anymore either. Compared to the first game, he looks all around ugly. At times his legs look insanely smaller than the rest of his body. He looks crushed in size and his color is way off. In the movie, they gave him more of a blue shine to his armor, but in this game, he looks like a dull teal. He says he's gonna arrest people at the beginning, but I've literally gone through this entire level shooting the shit out of everybody. Nobody is in handcuffs, only body bags. How am I supposed to get this nuke? I can't drop down, and you can't go backwards to get nuke that you missed because the screen won't go back. It only progresses forward. It feels like Robo is sluggish when it comes to running, and he also has too much forward momentum whenever you stop, making it feel like he's sliding on ice. If you don't get enough nuke in the level, you're sent to a shooting range for recalibration, but shit, even the crosshair feels slippery. The second level ramps up the difficulty by 100% with horrible platforming. It feels like Robocop needs a head start to get a long jump, but half the time I don't know what I can jump on or what I have to avoid. Again, color palette is like an acid trip. There's blues, pinks, grays, and more cat vomit orange. And there's a fucking time limit, so I can't waste any time. It took me a minute to realize these conveyors are magnetic, so these are the only things that you can jump on where you won't slide. Level 3 is more horrible platforming, only now I get a hover pad, which was in the movie. So level 4, this asshole at the bottom of the screen can shoot up and it stops you in place in the middle of a jump. Fuck you. So how the game helps you when shooting in directions, it gives you upgrades to your gun that lets you shoot straight up and down. Just let me aim the gun. There's a secret nuke store. Yeah, you heard me, there's a nuke store. You know, like a retail outlet. So where do you think it is? Is it in this door? Nope. Is it part of the factory? Nope. It's down fucking here. How cryptic are you gonna get with this? This isn't even a store, this is the sewer. I was expecting shelves of nuke right next to the ramen noodles and it to be another shooting gallery match where you have to destroy everything on the shelves. But, like the rest of this game, I'm sorely disappointed. So in level 5, there's this big vat of what I can only imagine is nuke or boiling strawberry milk. However, if this is nuke and it's as bad as the movie makes it out to be, then this is no longer a job for OCP, police, or Robocop. It's time to get the FBI or the DEA involved. Never mind. In the nuke headquarters level, this vat is red. It's nuke. It's time to call the DEA. When fighting Kane, he looks like Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Bullets don't hurt him, so you have to wait for him to drop his gun and then just punch him in the face with some justice. Look at this lady screaming bloody murder, Jesus. I kinda would be too if I was placed around platforms moving at light speed, green Ed 209s, hydraulic lift that smash you into pieces, buzzsaws at the bottom of the screen, militarized Roombas, laser cannons. How the shit did she even get up there? And whenever you save anybody, they just yeet themselves off the screen. Now at the end of the level, it said I arrested 99 of the villains. What villains? I went through the whole level killing robots. I didn't see one bad guy. Wait. Was she a villain? Is this person a villain? Is this person a villain? These don't look like people peddling nuke. This one looks like it wants to sell me Girl Scout cookies. Just when you thought the platforming couldn't get any worse, strap in, because the Civic Centrum levels 3 and 4 are bullshit. Not only do you have to destroy nuke, you have to destroy brains, all while avoiding a magnet that transports you to the end of the level just to drop and kill you, free-falling platforms the second you step on them, fire cannons, Mr. Krabs' claws, let's not forget the floors that invert your controls. Left is right, and right is left. If you want NES tough, infuriating levels that try your patience, these ones will do it. The rooftop is like a breath of fresh air after the last 4 levels when bumping into literally anything will one-shot you, where you just save victims on the side of the building, crush nuke, kill bad guys. You know, what Robocop 2 the game should have been all along. Final boss time, thank fuck. Robocop 2 the boss is super easy. He follows a pattern. You do it 3 different fights in 3 different locations, however each location looks the same, but whatever. You have to shoot him in a specific place per phase that he's in. If you shoot him anywhere else, the bullets will ricochet and come back at you. Figure out the pattern, gun him down, and then it's phase 2. Phase 2, you can only shoot him in the legs. Again, follow the pattern, rinse and repeat. Phase 3 is upper body only. Learn the pattern, finish the game strong. Then you're greeted with this well done screen. You have destroyed Robocop 2 and saved the city from bankruptcy? So in the movie, the city of Detroit is in debt to OCP. It's a whole aspect of the movie I won't dive into. However, this is the first time the game mentions this. We've been arresting people, destroying drugs, fighting robots, and shooting bad guys. This is the first time this game has ever mentioned money problems. If you were playing this game and never seen the movie, this wouldn't make sense. But what do I know? All in all, Robocop 2 for the NES is trash. Things to point out, in the cutscene, why does he constantly pull out his data dildo? He doesn't use this once in the whole movie. He used it in Robocop 1, but not 2, and in Robocop 1 the game, you never see it. And why is he so goddamn shiny, as if he got a per diem for turtle wax? The game start to finish is pretty much a memorization of patterns. Thank God the levels are short, but damn are there a lot of them. Worst movie in the franchise, but not the worst game on the NES. Robocop 3. Not a favorite of mine as a kid, but I still enjoyed it. In the movie, OCP is starting Delta City and destroying city blocks, kicking people out of their homes. Robo is kinda stuck in the middle because serving the public trust while following OCP's orders don't match, so Robo is more of a vigilante cop in this movie. This is also the first movie Peter Weller doesn't reprise his role as Robocop, and he is sorely missed. Side note, does anybody remember in Robocop 2 they tried to make him more family-friendly by giving him a whole bunch of bullshit directives to his programming that ultimately ended in catastrophe? Well, this was the first Robocop movie that was rated PG-13 and not rated R, and it's the worst mainline entry. Coincidence? I think not. Someone wasn't paying attention. The game tries to portray a lot of things from the movie. It just throws you in with, this is what you're supposed to do, now go do it. But I will admit, this game has some bangin' music. So P-bags make a triumphant return, and yet again they are inserted into the rectum. There are flashing P-bags, which we'll get to in a minute. Robo can shoot up again. Sorta. When you hold up, he shoots diagonally. Why is it such a problem for him to shoot in all directions, especially since assholes like to hover above you so you can't hit them? Robo looks better than he did in 2, but not by much. It seems like he gets less detailed as the NES games progress. His gun is the same color as his armor, but there's less detail in the armor. It makes it look like he's wearing a Robocop onesie. He can jump high, but he doesn't move very far when jumping, which makes platforming tricky, and he falls like a brick. He does weigh a ton, so I guess that's realistic. Wait, actually in the first game it says he weighs 250 pounds. What the fuck, this can't be right. Anyway, the upgrades to the gun is a nice touch. There's quite a lot, especially ones that wipe out everything on the screen. But what isn't a nice touch is the battle damage. At the end of each level, Robo sits in his hover round and you have to make repairs with the flashing P-bags that you find in the levels. However, you only find 2 throughout the entire game, and they're only in level 2. The game starts you out with 5, so you only have 7 in total for the entire game. If you take too much damage, his body starts to malfunction. If his legs malfunction and you're in a crouching position, he'll stand up or he won't move at all. Arms malfunctioning, he'll stop shooting. Head malfunctioning, he'll start moving in the opposite direction of where you want him to go, and he'll do this mid-jump as well. That's a nice addition to have when you're low on health and trying to make skilled jumps with already bullshit platforming. Look at this here, I'm tiptoeing through the levels, I'm trying to conserve health, so I wait at this sewer grate because I know there's a dickhead down there, only he won't show his face. The nanosecond my legs malfunction, I'm no longer in a crouch position and he pops up and blasts me dead. Fuck you. So it's best to be proficient as possible in the first 2 levels because 3 is going to fry your ass. Speaking of levels, 1 is Cadillac Heights, like in the beginning of the movie. Move to the right, kill everyone in sight, and then it's off to level 2, where it's the Rocket Motors factory. You're thrown right into the platforming where Robo does his best to make these precise jumps, all while trying to avoid heavy gunfire and pools of acid that'll kill you faster than you can say Robocop 3 reeks worse than unwashed jail dick. This level has bosses. You have to fight 2 different Atomos, or the same Atomo twice, I don't know. To sum it up quickly, Atomos are the Japanese samurai versions of Robocop, but these are pretty easy if you can escape being close to them. They just kinda walk around and do a series of flips to throw it in Robo's face that they're more agile than he is. Level 3 and 4 are the same, only 3 you have your jetpack, which is just how you'd expect operating a jetpack to look on the NES, and runs out of gas quicker than you can say Peter Weller is the superior Alex Murphy. This is where the difficulty spikes, because periodically a tank shell will fly across the screen, and if it hits you, you're taking a huge amount of damage. Thankfully, it does follow a pattern. You fight the huge-ass tank at the end, but you don't actually blow it up, which would be movie accurate. You just kill the people inside it. Level 4, you're going the opposite way in level 3, like, ah shit, I forgot to turn the oven off. It's time to head back. Only now your jetpack is completely out of gas, which makes this level stupidly difficult because there are grenades on the ground that you have to trick to try to get them to explode, all while killing a gaggle of splatterpunks. At this point, Robo's ready to get under his blankie, watch reruns of Cops, and go to bed. Fight an Ed 209, which Robo never actually does in the movie, and then you're off to the last level. I never made it this far as a kid, and as you can see, Ed 209 and I kill each other, and I'm lucky I got to progress and it didn't make me restart the level over. Last level, you take on 2 Atomo bastards, but you don't actually fight them. You have to keep holding up at this computer, making Robo look like he's taking a piss in a urinal. Hold up long enough until all the TVs display a single number and the Atomos destroy themselves. There really isn't much else to say about this game because it's painfully short. If you're proficient enough with your health, you can beat this game in under 20 minutes, and that's for a non-speedrunner. Much better than 2, but not as good as 1 on the NES. Holding out hope for an over-the-top Robo game, 16-bit consoles up next. How does Robocop 3 pan out for the Super Nintendo? What is it with Robocop 3 games having such rockin' music? I'm already hopeful. The game itself is pretty good. Oh, damn, Robo, you looking thick, though. We have stomping sound effects from Robo to let you know he is here to serve the law. But why does he have his arm permanently planted on his chest like he's in a constant state of pledging allegiance? Again, developers have a problem with making Robo fire in all directions. Holding up shoots diagonally instead of straight up. What is the issue here? Why can't Robo fire straight up? Oh, I'm sorry. Robo can shoot straight up in the air. With the X button. Why the X button? What's wrong with, say, oh, I don't know, the up button? He feels heavy. From the dominant stomping and the low jumps, although these jumps will piss you off right away when it comes to unnecessary platforming. Take the first level, for example, here in Detroit with this huge-ass pothole. And I'm dead. Look at these bad guys. Holy chads. And why do they all look like ravishing Rick Rude from WWF? This was when it was WWF. Get off my case. Between Robo's thickum thighs and those washboard abs, I'm starting to become slightly aroused. Like the NES version, there's a short list of levels, so how do companies get around lack of content? Spiking the difficulty. Robo now has limited ammo supply, even for his regular pistol. You can get extra ammo across the levels, plus pick up weapon upgrades with P-boxes instead of P-bags in this order. 3-shot, laser shot, flamethrower, and rockets. The pistol looks cool. The flamethrower looks great. The laser looks like Robo's about to conduct an orchestra. Thank God he picks up P-boxes automatically. I'd hate to see how Robo shoves a box up his ass. But the real kicker to this is if you're blasting hordes of bad guys without paying attention, you can destroy your upgrades. Depending on where you are in a level, this will cost you a life. Here in level 2, I destroyed my upgrade, which gives me the laser. I don't get another one before the co-op Ed 209 fight, and even though he's firing rockets, you need this laser to clear an onslaught of fuckfaces, so that's a death. So let's recap, because Robo never fought next to an Ed 209 in the movie, and who the shit is this? Is this supposed to be the little girl that reprograms Ed 209, logs into cameras, and is all around a big Robo fanatic? Oh yeah, you nailed this look perfectly. Ed 209 is ugly too. He's missing an arm and he's covered in what looks like red and yellow paint as if he's being endorsed by Hulk Hogan or something. I'm in debate. Is this supposed to be splatterpunk graffiti or was this the devs trying to give Ed 209 racing stripes to make him look faster? And he shoots rockets out of his chin. God forbid he shoots them out of his giant gun hand that's about the size of a jet turbine. What a shit representation of Ed 209. Going back to fuckfaces, they can fire on you before they completely load onto the screen, but you can't hit them. Well, sort of. If there's an arm poking out from the side of the screen, it will count as hitting them. And other times it won't. When they fired on me, sometimes I would turn it into a game of Robo Jump Rope. Here I'm trying to take down a crew of rocket launcher Ricks, but they're hiding off screen. I have one behind me ready to shove a rocket up my ass if I give him enough room to spawn. If I try to duck and wait for the one in front of me to show himself, he'll duck too and fire a rocket, which is an automatic hit because I'm not ready for it. When I move forward trying to get the guy to appear, he does, but there's another guy right behind him. The original guy that I wanted to show himself completely walks up on me, so I can't hit him. So I have two assholes I can't see and one asshole I can't hit. My mind is pulled into so many different directions, I don't know how to handle the situation because I originally can't shoot diagonally down before jumping down into this area and I just get crushed. Before I know it, I'm taking a fuckload of damage. Holy shit. Once I make it to the end of the level to the boss fight, I'm met with this. Do you remember the devil tank in Robocop 3 that bounces around stomping on people firing lasers? Cause I sure as fuck don't. This level is obnoxiously hard, and I had this game over image drilled into my head so much I started to feel like I've seen it before. It's because I have. Anybody remember in Robocop 2, Kane and Robo plummet from the top of OCP and fall through the concrete? After a minor skirmish, Robo comes crawling out back onto the street level and bingo. Wrong movie, devs, but I applaud your effort. Let me try to calm down. Next we have level 3 and we're given the jetpack. The game switches to a shoot 'em up level that looks like it would be pretty fun, but it really isn't. You have to dodge floating hemorrhoids that are making their way from the street and sway side to side as they're trying to hit you once they reach your plane of existence in the sky. You're firing like crazy trying to clear a path, but of course there are energy containers, which I'm guessing is fuel in this level, and it kind of blends in not only to the background, but the foreground. Firing as much as you are, your chances of blowing these up are extremely high. Do your best not to get hit, because these things are extremely tough to actually grab. Halfway through, Robo will lower towards the street and get caught in a traffic jam of bad guys in their air quads on their way to work. These are extremely easy to dodge and don't necessarily need to be shot down, plus it gives you a better chance of grabbing the fuel because you're not firing as much. But then he'll raise himself high again to avoid tanks firing on him from the ground level, and these are actually a pain in the dick hole to actually hit with an onslaught of bombs Robo's dropping from what I'm guessing is his face. It's easier to avoid the tank fire than it is to actually try and destroy them. But I have a question. What is it with this game and firing ammo from one's face? First Ed 209 did it, and now Robo. We're so inconsistent with the movie details so far, just give him 2 machine gun arms, at least it'll look cooler. Then we have the boss, which was never actually in the movie, and it looks like it was copy and pasted from a completely unrelated game. Avoid it from ramming you or shooting you with rockets and you're on your way. Level 4, you're dropped right into Castlevania. It's supposed to be the church from the movie, but I'd be lying if I wasn't expecting a Simon Belmont lookalike to start trying to whip me. This level is built for you to fail, trying to get you to burn through all the lives and continues you have left. The second you walk into this place, the game cranks up the bullshit by throwing at least 20 guys at you the moment you walk inside. Christ, give me a chance. Look at this. Even though I killed this guy, he still has a hitbox and will sponge bullets even though he's flying in the air. Long story short, this level is a series of locked doors and you have to try to find the keys to open up the wooden doors. Let me repeat that. Robocop is looking for keys to unlock wooden doors. Anybody remember in Robocop 2 when Robo punched through a steel door? I guess not. Also, enemies can shoot through the doors, but I have to be right next to it in order to shoot through to get to the other side. Get out of here with your double standard fuckery. Traps, of course, like decaying floors. Stand in one spot for too long, and yep, you guessed it. Also, this part right here is trial and error first time through. You're forced to break through the floor, but you don't know what's beneath you. How was I supposed to know to aim to the right side because below me was a giant pit of death? Oh man, these rats. As you're breaking the floor, you're dropped to the next level. But if you jump, you're still high enough to take damage from the rat that was just above you, while you have to avoid the ones that are at your feet. It's too small of an area to try to kill them with the three-way shot, so it's better to just try to get through it quickly. Here's a weird fact, so the rats groan like the bad guys when you kill them. And the walls do too. Once you're done playing locksmith and pest control, you fight the Atomo, which kinda looks like the corrupted cop Officer Duffy from Robocop 2. You can't shoot him, so you have to punch him. Rather easy if you don't stand near him when he swings the sword, but he does take a lot of punches to die. Yay, another shoot 'em up level. Only this ramps the difficulty yet again by putting you lower to the street so the tank missiles have a lesser distance to travel when trying to hit you. Quad Chads sway in this one, and this level is exceptionally good at making sure that your screen is cluttered with shit at all times. If you manage to make it through that, you have to take on more hemorrhoids, only they're doubled up and they attack in clusters, making this level a true pain in the ass. Wah wah. For the boss, you fight right above OCP, only it's an upgraded copy and pasted aircraft from a completely unrelated game that fires rockets and oranges at you. Again, avoid it from ramming you and its weapons, and you go on to the final level. The last level, you have to fight 2 Officer Duffys, and it's not extremely difficult, but I will admit the first time trying it, I died on my last life. No big deal though, right? Just restart. Only it doesn't let you start at the final boss. Oh, okay, I can understand making it a little challenging. It's gonna send me back to the sky level, right? No. It takes me back to the... It's the church. It sent me back 2 goddamn levels. I can understand making a game challenging on its own merit, but sending me back 2 levels because you have a lack of content and wanting me to waste whatever lives or continues I have left on this abortion of a level. Fuck this game for making me do this. When you finally make it and you do beat the game, you're given a wall of text. Congratulations, Robocop is yeah, who gives a shit? The NES version at least had a picture. This screams low effort. Final analysis, not a completely horrid Robocop game, but it's not that great either. Let's downgrade our expectations now with portable games. Robocop for the Game Boy. Immediately, you're graced with one of the best, if not the best, opening OSTs to a Game Boy game I've ever heard. I don't know what Jonathan Dunn was going through at the time, but I picture a battered man staring off in the distance at a sunset, or wandering the streets with no purpose because his wife just divorced him and left him only a TV, dinner, a spoon, and that one coffee table that wobbles because the leg is broken when the team asked him to create the title screen music. Game Boy music has no reason to sound this deep. The game is actually great, similar to Robocop 1 on the NES, but in this one he can jump. And he can shoot straight up in this one! Pea bags are replaced with pea jars, which sound absolutely disgusting and something that you'd find in a neckbeard's closet. No anal insertion with these ones though, just walk over them and Robo picks them up automatically. You can shoot his gun non-stop, which is very useful, and you can also pick up different weapons like a three-way shot, or I don't know what the fuck is this symbol supposed to be. Lipstick cannon? I don't know, but the lipstick cannon is one of the best weapons in the game next to the Cobra gun. But be very careful when firing your gun, because the weapon upgrades and P-jars can be destroyed in this game too. What's great about this game is it has level variety. The majority are side-scrollers, but you have two other types of levels, like a first-person shooter and a mode where you have to find your suspect. The suspect aspect is cool because it's randomly generated and changes every time you play. Also happy to say a lot of these levels are movie accurate. Word through the grapevine is this game is really hard, but I don't remember it being difficult as a kid. Level 1, you're on patrol in Detroit. A side-scrolling level making your way right, capping down black-haired gun guy, Dolph Lundgren blonde-haired guy throwing exploding hamburgers, Bruce Lee Kung Fu Kick Boy, and a pissed-off man with a chainsaw. Once all the way right, you take on a small slew of heavy bad guys, and then it's off to level 2, which is the first-person level. You have to save the girl being held at knife point. Movie accurate, because this is the guy who got shot in the dick. Level 3 is another side-scroller, and you'll notice right away that every enemy you saw in Level 1 is all the enemies that you'll see throughout the rest of the game, with the addition of Ghost Rider here. Nothing else new to see here. Level 4 is the Perp Finder, which I'm going to be honest, I struggled a little bit on this one. Tell me, what am I doing wrong here? Do these faces not match? The game told me no, and if you fail the mission, you have to go back to Level 3. What the fuck for? Is Sarge hovering over my shoulder telling me you only have 60 seconds to find the perp, Murphy, or it's back on the beat for you? I had to do this at least 4 times. I couldn't understand what I was doing wrong. Eventually I did get through it, and then it's off to the Sugar Factory. The Sugar Factory is a series of elevators and bad guys, but ultimate goal is to reach the very top floor and make your way all the way to the right. Nothing much changes in the side-scrolling levels, only the backgrounds. Level 6, you have to arrest Dick Jones, and this was done way better than the NES version. You actually walk into his office with arrest mode flashing on your screen, and then whenever you get close, Directive 4 error flashes on your screen. Once your arrest fails, Robo no longer has his gun, and Ed 209 attacks you in the office, which is 100% movie accurate. Punch him in the face a few times to beat the level, which is not so movie accurate. Escaping OCP is where I really noticed an increase in difficulty, but it wasn't completely horrible. Another side-scroller, but bullets are flying everywhere from the ceiling guns or just regular assholes. This is also where the game tries to pin you in 30% or less of the screen just to throw a bunch of shit at you all at once. There are lightning bolt stations blocking your path and the ceiling turrets just raining a hail of gunfire on you. If you try to rush the lightning bolt stations, you're going to get cooked, so destroy all of the ceiling turrets, taking as little damage as possible, and then take your time through the lightning bolts. After escaping, you have to recalibrate your gun, which is the Gameboy version of the target practice from Robocop from the NES. Everything was all cupcakes and gunpowder up until this point, and then you have Rest in the Junkyard, and let me tell you, there is no resting here. I can almost guarantee this is where the game got its reputation for being hard as fuck, cause everyone and their brother is out to kill you and they're all bullet sponges. A large number of bad guys will just appear on the screen all at once and start firing immediately. Back-to-back chainsaw guys create anxiety because they both need a lot of shots to die, and if they both hit you, you're losing almost half your health. You can't outrun them either cause you both move at the same pace. This is the only level you get the Cobra gun, and it's a godsend, because it's a one-shot kill and it mows multiple enemies down. Once you reach the bottom layer of the junkyard, this is where the game gets ridiculous. Assholes at the top of the screen. I'm blocked in by an explosive barrel with Burger Boy tossing shit at me and chainsaw fuckers are closing in. Give me a fucking break. I died over and over and over again in this level. At the very end, you end up right in front of OCP headquarters. Yeah, right. Like this busted up junkyard is right in front of OCP on the same block. Bullshit. Ed 209 is downstairs trying to stop you, but blow his head off, and then it's off to the final boss. Going through that abomination of a level, Dick Jones, is incredibly easy. Shoot him when he shows his face, cap him down, and then it's nice shooting, son, you rescued the president. Fantastic game of Robo, and for it to be portable, this is very surprising. So far, Robocop 1 games are top tier. Before we continue on portable games, let's take a step back to Robocop for the Commodore 64. Wow, Commodore games actually came in some nice packaging. This looks like something to get excited over. Let's look at the back and holy shit, look at these wait, this is the arcade game. So I actually do get a chance to play the arcade game. Let's go. So I don't actually own a Commodore 64, but thanks to modern technology and abandonware, I can play Robocop on the C64 Mini. This is going to be my first time playing this, and with graphics like that, I can't be disappointed. Let's play some Robocop for the Commodore 64. Okay, it's loading. Still loading. My God. By the time this loads, I could have already made myself a cup of coffee, got my wife pregnant, put them through college, and already be disappointed with their life choices. What's happening? Oh, okay, here we go. Why is this loading like it's a JPEG being downloaded from space? Whoa. Why did they use this picture for the title screen? This is Robo after he gets shot to hell and back by the police after he tried to arrest Dick Jones. And what the shit is Virgin Vision? Who cares? I can look past it. Let's go. Nothing's happening. I'm pushing every button. I even pulled up the on-screen keyboard. Nothing works. Oh my God, the title screen was another load screen. Hey, this sounds familiar. Jonathan Dunn, you've done it again with the— oh my God. What are these names? Alienation, angst, misery, frustration, torment, despair, depression, pain. They didn't even bother with number 9. And 10 is life in general. Jesus Christ, Jonathan Dunn, did you do this? Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Okay, game's loaded. I'm feeling a little dead inside, but who cares? Let's play. Wait, what did it say? One more time. He's definitely saying Gerbil Cop. Enough. Let's play the arcade game. What the shit? It's the Gameboy game on the Commodore, with choppier music and no sound effects. How can you have these as the screenshots on the box and this is the gameplay? Oh wait, arcade screen shown, computer versions may vary. May vary? I may very well be angry with your bullshit. And this game is fucking hard. You thought the Game Boy game was hard. This is cranked to 1,000. When you kill enemies, they explode and immediately respawn in the windows. Holy shit, this is nuts. Oh wait, there's the exit. How do I get up the stairs? What the hell? People bitch about the stairs in Robocop 1 for the NES. How the shit do I get up there? Oh, never mind. It's a side-scroller. I have to keep moving right. The exit's just a lie. But I'm dying so fast I can't do anything. And you only get 1 life with no continues. This is bullshit. How do I put in cheat codes on the Commodore just so I can see the rest of the game? Alright. Load or reset the game, then run the following basic command before running or resetting the program. Who are you calling basic? This game is basic. So basically, I have to learn programming to put cheat codes in on the Commodore. I have to make the computer poke something 44,416 times. Sys 32 sit. Who cares? Does it work? Alright, it says ready. That's good. Let's play the game. Fuck. So I load the game in, play the first level, and it still doesn't work. Fuck me, and fuck this game. At least I defeated the 10 stages of wanting to off myself, so that's something. Let's go back to portable games with... Ugh. Robocop 2 for the Game Boy. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a treat. Pretty much what I expected. It's a downgraded version of the NES title, except Robo jumps like it's zero gravity, or he has a pair of moon shoes on. On the flip side, this does make platforming so much easier. The slip and slide mechanics are still there, however they're not as frustrating in this version, though Robo still feels really stiff. The Game Boy design of Robo doesn't look quite as jacked up as the NES one, but my main bitch about this game is the movie inconsistency. A disturbance by Kane's gang. They have control of an Ed 209 unit. No, they never did, but whatever. Level 1, you're doing everything you did in the NES version, except there's no nuke to destroy. It says you arrest a percentage of nuke smugglers at the end of the level, but you're holding somebody. Or is this a mistype and it's actually supposed to be nuke snugglers? If you don't make enough arrests, there's no recalibration level, you just have to do the level over again. But after level 1, you have to fight the Ed 209, which never actually happens in the movie, and you just shoot him anywhere you want. Like the NES, learn the pattern, and mow him down. After that, you're suffering a psychological interference. You must try to locate the source by searching your memory. Okay, now we're getting back on track. This does happen, in a sense. Robo's driving around his wife's home, making her think that he's still alive. OCP shuts that right the fuck down because they're afraid of getting sued. They force Robo to tell his wife that he is purely a machine and there is nothing left of Alex Murphy for her to hang on to. Psychological mindfuck for the both of them. Pretty clever level idea. He doesn't search his memory by piecing together a sliding tile puzzle of his wife and son though. But graphical limitations of the Game Boy, what else could they have done to change the playstyle? I also remember these were pretty popular as a kid. I had a few of my own. If you put it together correctly before time runs out, you gain 2 extra lives. But that doesn't really matter because you have infinite continues. Next is the Nuke Factory. We're moving right through this game, avoiding floating yin-yangs, tornadoes, Indiana Jones pressure plate traps, and no face from Dick Tracy. They tried to make this level look similar to the one in the NES with the vats of nuke in the background, however with no color scheme for the Game Boy, at times I felt like this was an aquarium with no fish. And with zero gravity, jumping at times make you feel like you're actually inside a tank. As you progress deeper into the Nuke Factory, the task worsens. Oh yes it does, because in this level it looks like you're outside and not in a factory at all. Everything looks dilapidated, the enemies look like Nazi soldiers, and there are bombs falling from the sky. Is this a Robo game still, or is this a World War II Wolfenstein Robo fever dream? Is Robo shooting ammo from his regular hand? What the fuck is going on here? After single-handedly destroying the Axis powers, you now have to fight another Ed 209, but its upper body has armor plating, so you have to shoot it in the legs. Learn the pattern, and off you go. This is where the game really flies off the rails when it comes to being a movie tie-in. He never fought one of these, let alone 2, and the next level, within a lab inside the factory, you discover a jetpack and a multi-launch gun arm attachment that Kane has been developing. The fuck? Developing for who? First of all, no the fuck he did not ever develop either of these things. 2, the multi-launch gun arm attachment that just so happens to fit Robocop's body? That's awfully convenient and also generous. 3, if he was developing a jetpack, is this how he's gonna start pushing his product? Flying around people's homes like he's Rocketeer, dropping your shipment in through the chimney like some sort of drug lord Santa Claus? And yet, here we are, hovering around shooting the Etsy version of Solid Snake from Metal Gear or the 99-cent version of Rambo. And no, that was not an I'd buy that for $1 joke. You must search your records to identify Kane's robotic ninja... Okay, what? It's the Atomos from Robocop 3. If you don't really care enough to stay consistent with the movie material that's printed on the game, why even call it Robocop 2 at all? Call it Robocop Kane's Revenge or some shit. Kane has sent his robotic ninjas to defend his laboratory. Okay. They look like Steven Seagal in a thong. I also just realized every level has either been a factory or a laboratory so far. However, this doesn't look like much of a laboratory to me. Kane is so goddamn smart he creates a jetpack, machine gun arm, a highly advanced robot ninja, but is a complete dumbass when it comes to picking out the proper location for a secret lair. And the next few levels all look the same as this one, doing the same shit we've been doing until we get to the Civic Centrum. And doing these platform jumps is way easier than trying to do it on the NES version. Navigate through the level while avoiding hydraulic crushers, fire cannons, all while killing enemies like Doom Guy, Hazmat Man, and I have no fucking idea what this is supposed to be. It looks like Uncle Jesse's head on a floating toilet with a whisk for a hand. Fight yet another Ed 209 with armor plating on its legs, so shoot its upper body. Learn the pattern, you know what to do. There's no fist bump screen to read after beating Ed 209, and you're just dropped in here, which what I'm guessing is still the Civic Centrum. Or another laboratory. Only this level can go fuck itself. You have to make a lot of leaps of faith, hoping that you just land on solid ground. There's a hook here that will just grab you by the head and transport you to your death. Gee, that was thoughtful. The platforms that invert your controls are back, only these ones are 10 times more irritating. Logic would dictate that when you're not on these platforms, your controls go back to normal, right? Wrong. Once you jump off these platforms, your controls are still inverted until you hit the ground again. So if you jump right while you're in midair, if you hit right on the D-pad, you move left. Suck my dick. You never fight Kane as a human, only as Robocop 2, but if you read what the game says, I'm left confused. You face Kane within the Robocop 2 device. Is Kane dead, and now he's Robocop 2? Or is Robocop 2 a suit that Kane just jumped inside of? I don't know. There's so much inconsistency in this game. Either are possible. You only have to fight him once, and he is super easy. You can't shoot him in the legs, you only have to shoot him in his upper body. Learn the pattern, yada 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 yada. And this is what you get for beating the game. That fucking smile is so unsettling and creepy. What the shit are you so happy about? Look how detailed Robo looks here. And here. I'll even let this one pass. What in the Etch-a-Sketch fuck is this? And again, they make the emphasis that he is super shiny. Oh hey look, congratulations. We saved the city from Kane and his evil nuke. We didn't give the city financial stability. All in all, I prefer this version over the NES version, but that's like if somebody walked up to you and said, do you want punched in the left eye or the right eye? At the end of the day, it's pretty much the same. Oh boy, Robocop 3 for the Game Gear, stop it. I'm getting moist. This sucks. It's the portable version of the SNES game, so it's more of the same, only stripped of almost everything that made it half decent. Robo sure covers a lot of ground for looking like he's tiptoeing down the street trying to keep his cheeks together attempting to find the nearest bathroom because he has the Chipotle shits. The cons definitely outweigh the pros for this game. Pro, Robo can shoot straight up normally with the up button. Con, bad guys come onto the screen so fast you almost need to tiptoe to trigger them so you don't take an overwhelming amount of damage for the heavier enemies. Pro, shooting your upgrades doesn't destroy them this time. Con, even getting hit by one bullet causes a large amount of damage, having a slew of enemies on the screen and you're dying extremely quickly. Pro, checkpoint system so you don't have to restart the level from the beginning. Con, 2 buttons on the Game Gear means doing certain functions requires multiple button inputs, which we'll go over in a minute. Con. Graphical limitations of the Game Gear hinders what it wants to portray at times. Con. Boss fights are luck-based instead of skill. Con. I bought this game. The levels are all the same as they are in the SNES version. At the end of the first level, I'm met with a barrage of bad guys and I have to flip-flop left and right like an idiot trying to fire my laser in all directions. They appear so fast on the screen and they can fire almost immediately. The SNES version moves slower and gives you a chance to breathe as each bad guy comes onto the screen, giving you a moment. One example here how the bosses are luck-based instead of skill. Let too many assholes on the screen and you're dead quick. But if you think that was bad, oh boy, wait until you get to the Ed 209 co-op fight. Okay, look, check this out. So I played this version before I played the SNES one. I was unaware that there was a laser upgrade before this fight. I tried to take it on without it and struggled severely because of the button layout. Like the first level, once bad guys appear on the screen, they will start to fire. If you're standing, they will fire rockets at body level. If you're crouched, they'll fire them at your legs. I tend to remain crouched, since it gives me a chance to jump over them once they shoot the rockets at leg level. However, the jump button is the 2 button. How you switch weapons is the down button and the 2 button. You see where I'm going with this? So when I have a rocket fired at my legs, if I hit 2 before I let go of down, it will switch my weapon. So when I do start firing, I'm shooting my regular pistol, which isn't strong enough to kill these enemies. And when they start piling on the screen, you're no less than fucked. Eventually, I did find the laser upgrade, which made this a million times easier, and the rest of the level was cake. Would you just look at that? One more pro. Ed 209 fires the rockets from his gun arm. The aerial level is a mixed bag. Floating hemorrhoids are accompanied with red velvet sky donuts, and they can also be on the screen at the same time as the quad chads. But it's so hard to kill anything. This stage gives you weapon upgrades to your gun that takes it from a single shot to a 4-way spread. But even with it completely upgraded, you still can't kill shit. There's no ground tanks to worry about, so that's one less thing to have to dodge, thank God. And probably the best addition to the game, if you die anywhere in this level, it will spawn you right back where you died. Still the same copy and pasted aircraft, gun it down and try to finish this game as fast as possible. Oh fuck me, this level again. Only this game has its own blend and spices of ball cheese. The moment you walk in, not only are people appearing in front of you, they appear behind you. Get fucking wrecked. The graphical limitations of the Game Gear doesn't allow you to see the decaying floors until it's already destroyed. Great, I just trapped myself. Ah, no problem, I'll just get a run jump at it. I hate this game. Wait a minute, I fucking died here? There's stairs underneath me. You let me fall onto the stairs here, but not here. Oh, that's fucking fair. This game pick and chooses when it wants to fuck you in the ass. The boss is an Atomo, of course, but there's no punch button, so you have to shoot it, but there's no flashing indicator to let you know if it's hurt. I can't tell if I'm doing damage to it or not. Based on how he holds the swords in different positions, whether you're standing or crouched, leads me to believe that he's blocking regular gunfire. So I switched to shooting him when he's jumping, but again, I can't tell if it's working, and he jumps so fucking fast it's hard to stay on him. Eventually he did die, so shooting him when he jumps was the correct move. Ah yes, the aerial level again. And just like the SNES version, this one also stays consistent with making sure that your screen is cluttered with bullshit. The tanks are in this level, but like I mentioned, with graphical limitations, there's no depth perception, so everything looks like it's on the same level of existence. This stage is also self-aware that you can't kill things with your weapon because the health power-ups are abundant. Same copy and pasted boss, same strategy. The last stage is a bitch. Now I have 2 Atomos flipping and jumping around, only I have no upgraded firepower. I have the 3-way shot and the pistol, and with them jumping all over the place, yet again, still can't tell if I'm doing damage to them. I died and said fuck it. I played this game way longer than I wanted to. I could probably beat it, but honestly, I don't care. This wasn't a game from my childhood, and I bought it because it was cheap. Robo 3 for the Game Gear is bottom barrel crap. That's all I have for this video, but we're not done yet. Oh, not by a long shot. Bringing on the console wars with Robocop vs. Terminator. Who has the best versions? Game Boy or Game Gear? Super Nintendo or Genesis? And we still have to talk about this. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of the Robocop retrospective, and be sure to keep an eye out for part 2. But before I go, are you a fan of horror movies? Then Outrageous Shop is definitely worth a look. They sell Jason masks that look absolutely authentic to the ones worn in the movies that you love. They even do custom ones like this Gribbon pumpkin mask here in an awesome looking display case. Keep an eye out monthly for new custom creations. Type in Gribbon1020 at checkout to get 10% off your first order. That's outrageous-shop.com. But as always, until the next video, my friends, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Bye-bye.